Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and today I want to talk to you all a bit about the overall power game we're going to be getting this coming week, I guess next reset on the 13th of May, with Turbo Boost. Eye level increases, what does it look like? I am playing, or looking at Warlock Sims here, but let's be honest, it should, for the most part, extrapolate out relatively similar to most classes, depending on raw percent increases with eye level, so on and so forth. I'll show you how to run the Sims if you want to run your own. It's pretty easy to do, isn't that complicated, all of that. Also, shameless plug here. We are pushing for 100k subs on YouTube this year, which we're actually gained about almost like 1,000 over the past few days and stuff, which is insane. Thank you all so much for all support. If you wouldn't mind maybe considering possibly subbing to the channel if you love me. If you don't love me, that's okay too. I still love you. But yeah, that's that. All right, so let's get it going. Now listen, these profiles here were taken directly from Simcraft, which has the BIS profiles for Warlock here. If you want to run your own Sims for whatever class you're doing, probably have some general knowledge of raid bots and stuff, you can just simply come in here. Say you want to sim Farsi or Shaman, whatever you want. You can click this, it'll bring you to the profile. All you got to do is go down here, all the way down to profile, and basically just copy, for most part, you can just copy this. You can copy this if you want, but just copy this part here and copy the actual gear itself right here, and then paste those two sections into an advanced sim on raid bots. Just throw it in here. Basically, it will look something pretty much just like this. There's the actual eye level section, whatever talents. Here's your gearing, and that will give you basically what you're looking at here, result wise, about the exact same DPS. If you want to sim eye level increases on your character, you have to add the tag, I guess the whatever code. I'm not some scientist here, but you would go comma eye level equals 684. Now we are simming at 684 in this video for max myth 8 out of 8. I'm not 100% if it's 684 or 686. I believe it's 684, but PTR is down. No one can help me confirm that because it's down right now and stuff. So that is going to be max myth 8 out of 8 is 684. Now, if you are crafting gear and want to upgrade your two crafted pieces in this sim, find out whichever one it is. You can once again go to the sim, click whatever you want. You can go even further down here to the actual section that says gear, which is right here. Click it, you can see what items are in the sim. There you go. So for example, I have two crafted pieces on my Warlock. It's my offhand, my bracer. So I would set those to 681 here and not 684 on wrist and offhand alike. Now some might have eye level already listed here, like this for example. If it does, just override it with this. And if you don't see eye level in each individual piece, you can just put eye level equals 684 with a comma, and there you go. If it's too complicated for you, don't worry about it. I live in Florida, I'm not very smart either, but I do have Sims here for all three Warlock specs in single target and AoE, comparing them all. Now, getting into the Sims for Warlock here, once again, you can probably extrapolate these out for the most part for most classes based on raw eye level increases, but if you want to run your own Sims, you skip the first part of the video, I'd encourage you to go back to that timestamp. It shows you how to do it for your own profiles, own specs, if you want to. If not, don't worry about it. Upgrades are good. Now, just to show here, so for Demonology, for example, here, this is like 6 out of 6, like current what we have now, before Turbo Boost hits, like BIS gear. 678 on, 6 out of 6 myth gear, 675 on crafted gear, and you're sitting at 2.805 million. Now, if you look at the actual Simcraft sim here, which is this same gearing and all that, it is 2.807. 2000 DPS disparity is fine. It's about the same here, margin of error. When you're doing 3 million DPS, it's going to happen running different Sims. Now what I've done is I've taken, like I said, I've taken the profile here and I've just increased the eye level to 684, which once again we believe is going to be the eye level for myth 8 out of 8 on all myth pieces, BIS gear, and 681 on crafted gear. Now if you're running hero gear, it's probably a very similar upgrade if you're looking at all hero versus all myth. If you want to run your own Sim, once again, you can get super in-depth, you can do that too, but I mean, sort of a moot point, right? Now, when it comes to Demonology, once again, 2.805 million to 2.972 million, roughly, as far as single target is concerned. Looking at roughly, well, about a 6% DPS gain. And just to show here in the full HTML report, we can go to the upgraded eye level sim and show the eye level on this here. You can see it's all 684, except for bracers, which have writhing and they're crafted at 681, and the offhand, which is also crafted at 681 with ascension. Weapon, everything else is indeed 684 for that max 8 out of 8 myth. And once again, this is what's currently being used as like the BIS gearing for Demonology Warlock this tier. So about a 6% DPS increase, putting you at 2.973 million, which is, up here, still relatively high for like single target Sims are concerned, but also everyone else is getting a bump too. So probably staying in about a relatively similar position to where it is now. and going from there. I have also taken the liberty of running AoE Sims for you all here. If you want links to all these Sims, it's all down below in the description, as long as I don't forget. I have changed the talents to be AoE based here. As far as Demonology is concerned, a 10 target, patchwork 10 target, 1 minute sim. You're looking at 15.46 million pre-nerf. I didn't label the, or sorry, pre-turbo boost. I didn't label it because obviously boost is going to increase eye level. This is post boost, right? 15.46 million comparatively to 16.35 million, gaining about 6%, give or take, right? Now, you're gonna see Affliction, maybe even Destro higher and maybe lower depending where it's at for overall damage here. But without going too far into this and too in depth, damage profiles matter a lot, right? Affliction might sim the highest in a 10 target minute sim, but are you in combat for longer, for shorter? Is a boss coming up? Is there a prio mob? We know how Destro versus Demo versus Affliction's damage profiles look currently in M+, and not much is going to change there. They're all just getting, X amount better damage-wise, right? So basically Demonology gaining about 6% from 2.8 million to 2.972, call it 3 million, give or take, whatever, in this year. Moving on to Affliction. I have indeed simmed Hellcaller Affliction here in single target. We're looking to clarify, or I guess to confirm here again, with the damage ping right here. This is Hellcaller and all that. Single target build, 2.514 million pre-turbo boost, jumping all the way to 2.668 or 2.67 roughly, essentially post-turbo boost when you're fully upgraded with myth gear, so on and so forth. Gaining roughly 6 to 6.1% again, which makes sense. It's an eye level increase, same thing as Demo, just raw eye level, give or take, jumping from 2.5 to 2.67, which, I mean, with the buffs Affliction's gotten a handful of times, even recently, they buffed something, I think Agony and something else. It's become our second best single target spec. It's not like it's great at single target by any means, but when you're looking at raw sims, it is our best, or second best single target spec. It, honestly, it's pretty close here to Destro and Aff. They're both pretty bad overall. But one of Aff's, I guess you can say, issues or whatever when it comes to Mythic Plus is that it sort of lacks in single target. And that is because it's not as bad as it was before at all, but that is because comparatively to Destruction or Demonology, Affliction changed a handful of talents and talent builds. I mean, Vile Taint for Singularity, obviously better equality of life and things in plus, mass agony applications, but no Singularity, no Infirmity, means you're losing a lot of single target, right? So comparatively, you're going to see less single target in M+, if you're playing those M+ builds, to what you see for Destro and Demo, but that's sort of, a known thing with Affliction. Now, looking at Affliction, when it comes to its overall M+ gains or 10 target minute AoE stuff, baseline Affliction, 17.75 million right now, jumping to 18.85 million, about a 6.2% DPS gain with 11,000 DPS margin of error. Once again, simming higher than Destruction does, by about 2 million, because, I mean, Affliction's burst when you have CDs, I mean, it's exceptionally strong. Vile Taint, Soul Rot, Dark Harvest Cleave, Malevolence, Wither, Dark Lair, you can blast everything down with Rapture spam. We've all been there in M+, when you're going from one pack to the next and don't have Soul Rot or don't have Vile Taint, essentially you have to manually refresh Agonies. It feels terrible. You're playing a spec from 15 years ago in Burning Crusade, right? Hoping for 11.2 quality life changes, but point being, it does still sim higher, but sims versus actuality and reality, very important to know the difference there. But still, looking at about a 6.2% DPS gain, I'd say, when it comes to Affliction for Turbo Boost. Now, when you're looking at Destruction here, once again, Destruction 2.480, which comparatively to Simcraft, about there, give or take, a bit more, a bit less, whatever. I did indeed take the liberty, though, here of simming Hellcaller Destruction in single target and not Diabolist. Diabolist was higher for a while. I think it's very close now. It might even favor Hellcaller a tiny bit. I sort of forgotten, because you're playing Destro, that's raid tier, you're playing Hellcaller for the most part. There's one patchwork fight, it's Rocketmonger. You're playing Demonology there. Regardless, though, we had the sim Hellcaller Destro at 2.480 million, which is very close to the Simcraft sim here. Moving up to 2.636 million here as well, when you get that turbo boost gear coming in. And to confirm as well, once again, still playing Hellcaller here. No Diabolist versus Hellcaller swaps or anything weird happening. It is the same talent build, just literally with eye level increase on all of the gear, which indeed comes out to looking at roughly a 6.3% DPS gain. So about the same as Demonology and Affliction, a bit of margin of error, some gains here and there, but jumping from 2.481 to 2.636, which is still it's close-ish to Affliction, but if you're playing Aff in single target, it's a little better, and also like AF, but if you're comparing it to AF versus Destro and Plus, Destro doesn't change its build as much when it comes to like Plus single target versus AoE as AF does, so you'll typically see higher numbers from Destro and Plus in single target. Now at the same time, Destro's profile when it comes to AoE, 18.15 million pre-turbo boost, which is, you know, comparatively to Affliction, higher, comparatively to Demo, higher by about, I mean, you can say 3 million. Give or take, right? And it's gaining about 6% as well, going to 19.26. But we know with Destruction, it has that rampy damage profile. If you're pulling mass packs, you saw it in the MDI a lot as well. Once again, Demonology is the best spec, I'd say, overall for just like pug keys. Keys on, you know, on retail, you're plugging 10, 12, 13, 14 stuff, right? Give or take. If you're not pulling around Destro's damage profile in M+. If you pull around it, Destruction's a lot better, right? I mean, it's better. You can mass pull multiple packs, put an Infernal down, Kata, Malevolence, Wither, CDF extensions. It's much better quality of life compared to AF. It feels good to play with, but if you're... I don't know what that means, weird phrasing. But yeah, if you... Anyways, comment below if you caught that and like the video too. Okay, but yeah, if you've played with like Demonology compared to it, Demo's consistent. You've got Dogs, Demonic Strength, Implosion, just Hand of Gul'dan, Natural Cast, which make that profile much more consistent and plus with shorter cooldowns compared to Destro being all or nothing. You've got Demo just being consistent, right? Which is why it might sim the lowest overall, but it's still very, very strong. Shorter cooldowns, more consistency, and it has become overall the best recommended de facto spec for the majority of content. Once again, niche damage profiles, if they're strong in the right setting, they can be exceptionally strong. So as far as, once again, Turbo Boost is concerned, not a whole lot really. But I mean, like, besides just storing up Crest, Valor Stones. Valor Stones are transferable. They're Warbound. It's a 20% transfer like reduction if you bring from one character to the other. So if you want to like mass stock up on Valor Stones, I covered it in the video. Put out videos. You guys can watch that too. Helps out a little bit there for like prepping for Turbo Boost right now. If you want to mass store Valor Stones on some alts you don't play as much, like just feed your main for 1 million upgrades when the patch hits, you can do that. Just keep in mind you're going to lose 20% transferring some of them over. You can send them from your main to your alt then too if you want. At the same time, crafted gear upgrading from 675 to 681 costs 30 gilded crests. There's that. The 675 gilded achievement for crest reduction does not reduce crest cost for items above 675. So going to myth 6 out of 6, 7, or sorry, going to myth 6, myth 7, or myth 8 will still cost 15 crest. But if you stockpile crest now and or have a bunch of like weathered or basically non-hero, non-myth crest, whatever you're using, you can convert a bunch of those over to next week when Turbo Boost hits, because the crest cap is going to be gone. So if you have those laying around, I'd encourage you to just like mass farm content and get your crest manually through M+ and things this week, M+ the raid and all that. And then when the patch hits, log in. Well, I keep saying patch. When the real patch hits, when Boost hits and stuff on Tuesday, log in, convert it all over, and have 200+ crest to upgrade probably half your gear with, give or take. But yeah, so about a 6% DPS increase, about 150k, give or take, depending what you're doing in single target, which honestly, depending with the raid being where it's at now too, with the 9% damage increase coming in, 155 for Destro, 152 for AF, and 170 for Demo. Fights are getting shorter and shorter, strats are changing and all that. This raid, this season, for the rest of it, should melt. So hopefully y'all are having fun. Thanks for watching. If you want Sims, down below. And I will catch you all again soon on stream. If you like the video, I'll love you even more. Not sure I still love it, but liking the video helps out a lot. And sub. All right. Shameless plug aside. I'll see y'all later again. Peace.